Technology has catapulted the world into the 21st century, turning impossibilities into reality and constantly changing the possibilities of the future. But all this positive innovation and growth has come at a cost. With the introduction and popularity of smartphones, we as human beings are being affected more than we would like to admit. Studies show that 72% of Americans own a smartphone, in comparison to the global average of 43%. But studies have shown that overuse of smartphones can have a negative impact on your posture, eyesight, and hearing, not to mention distracted drivers and pedestrians. But it's tricky to determine whether or not excessive use of smartphones is the cause of these symptoms, or if they only provoke existing anxiety and depression within those who use it. In a study reported on the website Studies Direct, a total of 308 university students answered questions regarding their mental health, cell phone and internet usage, and the reasons they used them. People who scored higher on scales known as fear of missing out, also known as FOMO, were more likely to overuse their phones, and those who overused their phones were more likely to score higher on the depression and anxiety scales. According to the study, problematic smartphone use may interfere with other pleasurable activities and disrupt social activities. Cell phones and smartphones in particular have an undeniable addictive quality. Research published in Frontiers in Psychiatry describes cell phone addiction as manifesting itself in any of the following ways: choosing to use your device even in dangerous or prohibited contexts, such as in school, at work, or while driving; losing interest in other activities; feeling irritable or uneasy if separated from your phone; or feeling anxiety or loneliness when you're unable to send or receive an immediate message. After hearing these facts and some mild introspection, it's easy to see that our society has become more and more dependent on our technology, especially our smartphones. Think about the last time you were in a public setting alone and a socially stressful situation was on the brink of unfolding. What's your first reaction? If you sit down on the bus among strangers, what do you naturally do? If you're the first one to your class and you don't know anybody, what would you do? We take out our phones. The natural tendencies we as a culture have developed have turned into an increasingly antisocial individuals, and we've become emotionally dependent on our phones. As your phone hits 20% and then 10% battery, worry may set in. Then as the phone begins to power down, you feel a rush of panic sweep over you and think if there will be anything that you absolutely need from your phone until the time that comes that you're able to reuse it again. When the phone dies, what are we worried about? Will we be lost without Google Maps, or will we be missing the last few minutes of the game? Or is it the fear that we're no longer connected with people through our memes, emojis, and GIFs that really causes this anxiety? What if I miss a call, text, or a Twitter update? What if I don't see the pictures of my best friend right as they post them from their trip to Mexico? What if I don't get to finish that YouTube video that I just started? We live in a world that's taught us that it's okay to live our lives vicariously through our phones and the experiences that others are having. Technology that fits so comfortably in our hand encourages us to forget about our experiences in life and make sure we know what everyone else is experiencing in their lives. As we lose sight of what we want to accomplish in life because we're so caught up in the lives of others, we realize that we've sunk into a deep sadness and that suddenly our lives feel so unfulfilled. The antidote to this complex and ever-growing situation is as simple as this: look up. Take your eyes off the screen and let them sink into the eyes of those we're talking to. Engage with those around you and talk to your friends about life face to face rather than observing through a screen. Take the time to develop relationships with the people who care about you and stop caring about the person that you're seeing on the screen that makes you feel like you're less of a person. We live in a time where everything is found on the internet in some way or another. The news, entertainment, information, tools, and so much more are all encapsulated in something that we can't even see. We no longer look to books for data and research, but we do a quick Google search and we're immediately presented with millions of search results. Social media has largely impacted our society and the way we communicate with others, but more importantly, it has changed the way we use our time. Social media has become somewhat of a crutch for our society. It's something that consumes us and encourages our focus and attention constantly be drawn and occupied by it. Notifications from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube all fight for our attention throughout each and every day. As we give in to the temptation to scroll through each app and investigate the happenings of the moment, we're losing out on the reality that's unfolding in front of our faces. We have reached a point where we would rather record an amazing event with our phones so that we can post about it later, rather than putting our phones away and letting ourselves be submerged in the moment and truly soak it all up. Social media also motivates its users with popularity and status. The more people you have following you and liking the things you post, the better you are. At least that's what they want you to think. All social media companies are businesses looking to capitalize on human beings' weakness to be popular and feel important. While everyone is striving to get more followers and likes on their pictures and posts, the more time you're spending on their apps and the more people you're inviting to use their apps. We are the puppets that make these social media companies so much money. The side effect of using these apps so much is a development of dependency for them. We're becoming more and more addicted to social media, and it's taking us away from the things that truly bring us happiness. These dependencies are also being translated and passed down to our children. How often do you go to a restaurant and see a little baby sitting in a high chair with an iPad on the table in front of them playing a movie or a TV show? I see it all the time. Parents are using technology as a means of escaping the responsibilities they have to take care of their kids. Sure, it may calm them down and make them happy, but it's also training them to find comfort in those devices. These kids grow up using technology as a coping mechanism, and we wonder why they are having hard times connecting with others and why they always want to be watching a show or playing a game. We're training these kids to do the exact opposite of what we think is healthy for them. As we learn to control ourselves and our urges to constantly check our phones and instead engage with the environment and people around us, we'll find so much more satisfaction in life. We'll no longer require a phone in our hand and will not need to share every detail about our lives, but instead we'll be able to enjoy the goodness that has always been surrounding us. We will develop stronger relationships and have a greater appreciation for the simple things that make life magnificent. We can change the way we view ourselves and the way we view the world by simply viewing them through our own two eyes rather than through a little screen we hold in our hands. I believe we have the ability to find happy balance that implements and utilizes the technology that we've been blessed with, while at the same time not letting it control us and becoming the center of our lives and the creator of our personal value and worth. Technology has its place in this world, and I think we can find that balance and we can use it to help us be better and continue to push for innovation, but we need to make sure that it does not take over and take control of our lives. Technology is good, phones are good, but they have to be used right, and we have to be responsible with the way we use them.